Michigan State College. It was my mother's. We have a long family tradition at Michigan State. So when I got the email from Fred, I don't know, I attempt to write, and this came out shortly after I got the email from Fred. So this is my ode to my friend RoseAnn. Wait a minute. Oh, well. Okay. I am sad at the passing of my friend, but glad she's no longer suffering. It seems serendipitous that she passed away on the day of the closing ceremonies of the 2024 Olympics. She has passed along many batons to many, many people in the relay races of life. RoseAnn jumped hurdles with grace and never looked back, paving the way for many women and men. Students and friends were blessed to have received her Olympic quality life coaching. I don't mean to insinuate that she ever won a real Olympic gold medal, but she won many a gold medal in life's challenges. She could swim circles around most people in tennis, and she was even on a billboard in Iowa, right? In her swimsuit. A champion diver. Of course, back then swimsuits were actually suitable for general public viewing. I always teased her about being like St. Olaf's Betty White. She reminded me of her sometimes in her stating of the obvious. Blonde, yet deceptively and incredibly witty, as all get out. And had she ever been knocked down in the mud in a Snickers commercial, RoseAnn would also jump right back up, just like Betty. RoseAnn took the high bar of life. She seemed to know how to float over the trials in life. Carol and I were both in the College of Business with RoseAnn daily at work, and what an influence she was to everybody in the College of Business, and us individually, and on fun times, etc. Her positivity was always a lesson and a blessing to me and many others. She was as graceful as the gals on the balance beam. She could bring balance to a group of dysfunctional co-workers. Positivity wins the race with RoseAnn. It was always with grace. She was a team player as good as any. She supported the collegiate team gals at MSU, a cheerleader and a coach always. In the hallways, wherever you were, she was there for you. She was in your court, wanting everyone to make happy memories. I've heard that many times from her. Make happy memories. Well, here we are. I know we had a great time one time with part of the family and Debbie and Natalia up at Whitefish Point, and watching hawks fly over to Canada, and just, incredible times. It was always a joy to be with RoseAnn. RoseAnn was not afraid to tell you the truth, as you've already heard. And she did it in a way that melted any offensiveness. RoseAnn, when I asked her a lot of advice, and she was always 90% right. And she was 10% right. What a gift. We got to experience those gifts with her presence. I called her Roseann-Adana because she could add humor and lightness to anything, to almost any situation. A charmer, a creative innovator. She was not full of herself, she was full of life. Just as a silly example, Natalia used to work at a place where they had frogs and turtles and stuff, and in my photography I had to find out all the trilliums and photograph all the 8 trilliums of Michigan, and then I had to photograph the frogs of Michigan. There's 11, by the way, native frogs. And the place where Natalia worked, I don't call her Natalia, I call her Nature Talia. I've always called her Nature Talia. So they had a mink frog, and it's the only frog that's in the UP only. So I went there, thank you, Natalia, and Natalia, and photographed the mink frog. So one time, RoseAnn and I were driving up north, and I said, "Hey, RoseAnn, you want to learn the 11 frogs of Michigan?" She says, "Sure." So I had this little way to memorize them, and that's what we did for about 10 miles. And she could name them back to me. She was always willing to join in. If she was in the Olympics, I think she'd be a soccer player. She'd be the one to block the incoming shots. She could see the bigger picture and always find bigger solutions. I will miss her true beauty. That is what she was, true beauty, right? That's what you call it. Yes, that came from Nature Talia. Her wit, her laughter, her friendship, her creativity, her big, beautiful heart, all the happy memories. I can just picture her dancing in heaven with Gene Kelly, dancing with an umbrella in a gentle heavenly rain, never missing a step, and with a big smile on her face. RoseAnn Swartz, a true Olympian of life, she touched our hearts.